All right, so I'm back in the cab of our 50/20 project here, and it legitimately is like 11 below outside, which means it's like -20 wind chills. This is the wrong night to smoke up the shop. It means we're sucking out all the heat to get rid of the exhaust fumes. But there's no way we can walk away from this project now. Sorry, heat. You're gonna go outside with the exhaust fan and all the exhaust fumes. It's just one of those necessary evils. Here we go. All right, so back in the shop, January, working on our 50/20 project. Do you ever feel like you've ran a marathon? Because what we've accomplished in 2 months truly has been impressive. This isn't our only project going on. If you look behind us, we've had a tractor sitting here for a little while. In the very beginning, when we started this project, there was an end up that sat out here for about a week with the box up. Yeah. And we were just like, well, this one's more fun to work on.
Yeah, no, I mean, everyone knows, right? You have a fun project going on, but you don't get to put life on hold, so you can just work on it. So you've been trying to drive semi and do all the other things in between, but everyone keeps gravitating back towards this guy.
That's more fun. Yeah, that one's just more fun. Our comments, again, didn't let down. There was a few guys last week, we talked about the Vikings losing, and the shop was a good spot to be. A couple guys chimed in, and yeah, their team had lost too.
It's been rough for the upper Midwest, right?
Yeah, Packers are out, Lions are out, Bikes are out.
So we can all commisserate together.
So that's why we're back on our project.
Yeah,
yes.
This is more exciting, and you're getting some wins.
Okay.
Some W's on the board.
So where we last left off, we just threw, we knew we were trying to prime the oil system, we just threw some ether at it, and we got it to hit, which told me there were signs of life.
You're saying there's a chance.
Oh, the comment I made about so hard to go back to bed or go to bed that night, that was so true. Because I think we did that probably 8, 9 o'clock at night. Yep. And then all night long, I'm like, oh, let's just go throw another can at it.
Yeah.
This tractor has been our 2-month marathon.
Yep.
It just, oh man, it's taken so much more time than ever expected.
Because when you're saying 2 months, like daily, multiple people working on it, not like that thing you do where it's like, oh, we come putz on it every so often.
Yeah, work on it after work. I mean, it has been, but it's kind of just the way we do things. I mean, in a weird way, it's kind of just the way you end up having to do things. Yeah. Because I know if we quit working on it, then we're going to lose the momentum.
Stuff
and it's going to
gets piled on it, it's over.
Yep. The neat thing though, is that we're at this point, we're almost ready to get running, but we're going to recap a little bit about this project. We bought this tractor back last summer on an estate sale. We waited till November to start working on it. We were waiting till we got all our fall field work done, all that stuff. Well, my birthday's around that time frame, so we pushed it on my birthday, tried pull starting and just seeing if we could get it to spin over, and we couldn't. We had rusty cylinders, and that's when we knew that motor was junk. So then we bought a $1,300 motor on Marketplace and decided, let's put that in.
From a bus.
Yes. And well, as you can see, it's in. But now we're cruising up on that point of we've been working nonstop, you know, getting everything in place. Now we're at that point where it's like, all right, let's see if we can fire it up.
Does it run? Because you've never heard this motor run before.
Not on anything but ether. All right, I had to walk out of the shop because there's way too many people in the shop right now to do any form of recording. All you hear is grinders and it's just been crazy. I don't know if you can hear that right there, but that's perfect timing. So it is freezing outside. I think it finally got above 0 today, but yeah, who's seen that coming? Well, we knew this cold snap was coming, but it just, oh man, you forget when it's sub-zero, like how it just sucks the life right out of you. So good news, bad news. The last few days we were able to hit the tractor with ether. We got it to pop off, which is nice. We got oil system primed, which that is really nice. Last night we were trying to get it to run off the fuel system. I think hit it. I'm not hearing any leaks. Yep, stop. Ah! Hit it one more time. Okay, stop. That one's not tight. Yep. We were trying to get it to run off the fuel system, and it just didn't want to go. I think try it. Due to some family stuff, I was under a little bit of a time constraint. I didn't get any time to actually bleed the injectors, which I know, should have done that first. But kind of thought that rail system was going to have enough pressure that just take off. It didn't. Today we are going to start by just bleeding all the injectors and see if we can't start getting it to run right off the rack. And yeah, we'll see how this goes. I'm gonna go back inside right now because it's really cold. Sorry, when it's this cold, I'm a wuss. I'll remind you, that thermostat is on the corner of the shop in direct sunlight, so it's probably not the most accurate, but it's still frigid. It's still cold. There was one thing I did that I thought maybe I could overcome it, and it totally shot me in the stupid foot.
What was that?
I didn't bleed the injectors. You got the electric pump running? Okay, so get that. Oh, wow. Okay, you want to stop that electric pump once? This system's a little different. It has fuel rails, and I thought, hey, we had 25 to 30 psi through all of through our fuel rails. I thought that might be enough just to get the air and old fuel out of the injectors, and she'd hit.
Now, are we using the fuel system off of the original tractor or with what came with the bus motor?
That's a little bit of a complex question because
back.
the block is the bus. The block and the heads and all that is from the bus, but the blower has 2 gears on the back of the engine that run the 2 shafts that rotate the blower. And then on the front of the blower is actually the mechanical fuel pump and then also the governor. And so we knew we wanted to keep that blower assembly that was originally from the tractor on the tractor because the governors were set up different than the bus was.
Sure.
So that's where this gets a little convoluted because the block's the bus, the head's the bus, the injectors are the bus, the fuel rails are the bus. But then the mechanical fuel pump's off the tractor, attached to the blower, and that's why we wanted to kind of prime the fuel system, make sure everything was good to go. Okay. Did I lose you?
No, that's good. And again, why are we not pulling from the actual fuel tank? Why do you have to have it rigged with?
That's a really sore subject right now.
Okay, we're not talking about that yet. All right, we'll get to that.
The guy that's working on it, still working on it a week later, and we feel really bad because it went from, hey, this looks good, maybe a little pinhole here, pinhole there. We'll solder this to. Okay,
so we'll get back to that then.
How horrible can it get?
Yep.
Hey Martin, how horrible can it get? Yeah, so, and the other thing too is like sometimes just being able to use it off the electric pump, it's fast, it's easy.
Because you're not testing, you want to get the engine, the motor running.
Our main goal
not
is
worrying
to
about
see,
the fuel system right now.
See if we can actually get it to fire. That was Sunday, we couldn't get it to quite hit. Monday, I walked down to the shop, talked to a couple friends, and they're like, oh dude, you gotta bleed the injectors. And I'm like, really? Even on this fuel delivery system? Okay. Both the guys were like, it's no different. Bleed the dang injectors. We started off Monday afternoon. I bleed all the injectors.
And what does that mean?
So this fuel delivery system goes from 2 lines that go from the fuel filter up to each individual head. And then there is what they call a rail, or basically just like a tunnel that goes down the length of the head, and then the injector lines just screw into there. Fuel lines then run from the injector rail or that tunnel up into each individual injectors. And then you have the primary ones, and then you have the return fuel lines. So there's actually 2 per injector. I cracked both just to make sure. And actually when I did it, it was a good thing because the bus ran clear fuel because it was on road. We run red fuel in tractors because it's road exempt, road use exempt. Yeah. Crap that don't really matter. I knew when I seen the clear fuel coming out of the injectors, nope, we needed to bleed these. Okay. So we were able to bleed them until we had red fuel coming out of all the injector lines. And then I knew like, okay, now it should be.
Game on.
Now it should be a little better. We get it running, right? Everyone in the shop is quiet, all eyes are on us, and we're just sitting there like, holy crap, this is amazing. But we have to figure out, it leads to our next problem that we gotta figure out. I was running the injector rack by hand off the head itself. Now we gotta figure out what do we got going on with our governor. Well, luckily, it's kind of like this whole project's like peeling back an onion. You peel one layer back, you find the problem, you fix that problem. Now even just like emotionally, you're ready to go chase the next problem, right? Like that's why you can only do one problem at a time. Or maybe it's just because I'm a guy and I only do one thing at a time. The next problem we have to figure out is, okay, what governor do we have? How do we adjust this governor, etc.? Well, luckily, it's one cool thing with today's world. I mean, today's world's actually pretty amazing. How much information's out there. We spent about an hour, found some videos on YouTube. It looks like it has the variable speed style governor. I found, which actually is really common, I guess, on tractors and but also gensets. And so I found a guy explaining how the governor works on a genset. And so we were able to walk back in the shop. Me and Adam, within like 5 minutes, had it adjusted. fire it back up.
Okay.
Now for the first time we have the hand throttle. The throttle's going up and down with the hand throttle. Cool. And for the very first time, when we pulled the kill cable out, we had it actually shut off with the kill cable.
Okay.
Forward progress.
Yeah.
Definitely awesome. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh. Yeah. And like you said, 2 months. This is 2 months in the making.
Yeah.
Also the fact that we didn't have like oil or fuel just like spraying everywhere. Still questioning your rear main a little bit. Like, oh, okay. There's always these things that you're just worried about, right?
Yep.
And so just knowing the fact that we heard the motor run, it's revving up, it's shutting down. We have the governor figured out. Yep. We might have to do some adjustments later on, but just the fact that for the first time we heard the bus motor run.
Yeah.
Perfect.
That's awesome.
All right, so I'm back in the cab of our 5020 project here. This is the wrong night to smoke up the shop because it means we're sucking out all the heat to get rid of the exhaust fumes. But there's no way we can walk away from this project now. We just got it running, and we got it running off the fuel system, and we got it running off the hand throttle, and we got to keep tweaking. So sorry, heat. You're gonna go outside with the exhaust fan and all the exhaust fumes. Okay, man, hit her. Okay, we had to stop because all of our eyes are burning, but it's totally worth it, wasn't it? Absolutely.
I feel it come through the floor.
And we don't even know what RPM that was. If I was guessing, I think maybe I got to 1500. I could be wrong. Yeah, I don't think I got her that high. So we got a bunch of people in the shop, and I might have just shortened all their life expectancies, but I don't think anyone in the shop cares right now. Nope. Hear that thing run. Wow, totally worth it. And running with the hand throttle and then shutting off with a kill. Very cool. We don't have a tack hooked up. We don't know what our actual RPMs are. That's one of the next steps. I was hoping, we're gonna wait and see. I was hoping we just see the temp gauges move a little bit, and they haven't yet, but we know we got good oil pressure. We got good oil. We've done so many of the basics, but yeah, hearing her just run off the throttle tonight. Oh, so cool. Yeah. So cool. Okay, so we finally gave up. We had to open up the door, but all of our eyes feel way better, don't they?
Oh yeah.
None of us care though, right? That thing runs. Ah, so awesome. Boom, she takes off. And the funniest thing in the world, immediately after she hit, the shop was quiet. Everyone quit doing what they were doing, and all eyes were on the bus motor.
This was 2 months in the making. I mean, this was what? This was the Super Bowl that you guys were all working towards, right?
Yeah.
I mean, driving it out, that'll be a big.
Looking at it.
But this, I mean, you know now the major components are working. Everything else is details at this point, right?
There's kind of a problem with driving it out.
Uh-oh.
move forward. I think it's in the linkage, but I should grab reverse. But I think it might be in the linkage.
It started going in reverse.
Yeah, I think this is a little gummed up, and Larry would be the guy. I know there's levers. Larry would be the guy that would We get the tractor running, and then the mindset is we got to see if it moves, right? We put a clutch in this thing, we got to make sure this thing moves.
Yeah.
I go to try to put it in gear, and I start noticing like I can't find all the gears of the transmission. Specifically, I can't find reverses. And because actually the tractor, ever since we rolled it together, the tractor's been sitting on an airline. And so we're like, hey, let's just back up and get it off the airline.
Yeah, yeah.
I didn't want to go in reverse.
So what does that mean?
What I'm thinking is you have the actual physical shifter. You have the actual shifter attached to the center console. And so there's one shift mechanism there. And it looks like it's running 2 cables back to the rear end. Oh. And we think something in those cables. Because it moves just a little bit. But as soon as you get to reverse or to the R positions, you can't get it to go back. So we know I was able to get it rocked forward, and I know it'd go forward in a specific gear, but I didn't have like the low gears like 1 and 3. I think I had 5th, but I didn't have reverse in 5th. So we still got to figure out why she's not like going forward. Now, when
you're hoping it's like the shifter mechanisms, but not that. I mean, could it be the transmission? Like you don't know if the transmission.
Yeah,
is
see,
good,
that's the thing.
Because you're using the transmission from the tractor.
Remember our luck when we lifted a head off and the cylinder was just like full of rust? Now, the good news is we pulled the filter and we actually pulled the suction screen, and both of those looked really clear. So, are really clean. So that's what leads me to believe it's probably just in the shift mechanism. But as much of an emotional high as the engine running was the whole not going in reverse thing is kind of like,
yeah. Viking's just losing it in the playoffs. I mean, good night.
Wow.
Like big time. Though.
Twist
not
that
even,
knife a little more.
No, that is a bummer.
I think it's going to be something relatively just something in those shift linkages. What's really weird is I don't think it's a cable froze up. Like originally I thought maybe it was a cable froze up, but we can look underneath and actually see the cable going up and down.
Okay.
And
because
so
again, how long was
sure.
this tractor sitting?
We don't know. I mean,
enough for a tree to grow up.
Yeah, I counted 10 rings on that tree.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, so it was like a long time. Now the kicker is we originally bought the tractor, and the one thing in the actual ad said the clutch was out of it. But then we were able to try and pull start it, and the clutch, even though it might not have been 100% okay, was good enough to, you know, get it to go forward. And that's the other thing that makes me feel better. I know I was that day when we were trying to pull start it. I know we actually found a gear that day.
Okay.
Why we can't find them right now? Yeah, we'll find out. Okay, 50-20 runs with the hand throttle and the fuel shut off. You're headed for Victory Food wherever Adam drives. Heck yeah. Thanks guys for all your help. I do appreciate it.
Yep, no problem.
Where are we going, Adam?
Up to you.
You're driving. You're driving. I'm middle management. Don't you forget that. This upcoming week, the goal is to figure out the shifting. Like I said, I think it's going to be pretty easy. The next big hurdle we got to do is, I didn't realize when we bought it, there is no John Deere factory wiring on this thing anywhere. And so we know we got to spend...
Because it was custom from the get-go, or because it's been redone?
I don't know.
Okay.
I would have figured they would have spliced into the original harness or some
if there was an original?
Yeah, so I don't know why, but there's nothing. What's your dash say for temperature?
-17.
Oh, we're going to get Mexican food. Gotta love it. Usually, at least like we get under the center console or get under the dash, you'll see something. There's nothing. And so I know we got to build a wiring harness from scratch. We got to figure out why it's not shifting. And then hopefully we can drive her out of the shop. We're still hoping that we can drive her out of the shop. Thanks guys for all your help. And because I kind of want to put this thing on the dyno and just see what she's actually making for horsepower.
Yeah.
You know?
You have to.
Thanks again, guys, for all your help.
I mean, you have to.
We're hoping. So if you get to this point in the video, it means you're a true fan. Thank you for watching. But believe me, in the upcoming weeks, the goal is to try to put that thing on the dyno, and we'll just see how much horsepower a bus motor can make.
Yeah.
Now, we have a friend out in California, and he's been super excited. He's been kind of following along with this stuff, and he's like, the real question is how much horsepower can that factory John Deere PTO take? Oh. He's like, there's a chance you might overpower the PTO. And I'm like, can't wait to find out.
Problem for another day. Yep.